Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Hare Yashodanandana Brajachanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Anandana Brajachanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jai Kunda Bihari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Hare Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Bhai Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Bhai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jagadharma Shri Hari Ram Sankirtan Ki Srila Prabhupada ki Samveta Gaura Bhaktavinda ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 15, King Prithu's appearance and coronation, text 19. So text 19, 20, 21 doesn't have purport, so I will read. Natyam Sugitam Vaditram Antardhanam Chakkechara Rishayascha Satya Samudra Shankam Atmajam. Translation. The demigods who always travel in outer space gave King Prithu the arts to perform dramas, sing songs, play musical instruments, and disappear at his will. The great sages also offered him infallible blessings. The ocean offered him a conch shell produced from the ocean. Text 20. Sindhava parvata nadhyo rata viter mahatmanaha sutoatha magado vandi tam stotum upatastire. Translation. The seas, mountains, and rivers gave him room to drive his chariot without impediments. And a Suta, and a Magadha, and a Vandi offered prayers and praises. They all presented themselves before him to perform their respective duties. Text 21. Stavakam stan abhipretya praturvainya pratapavan mega nihradaya vacha prahasan idam abravit. Thus, when the greatly powerful king Prithu, the son of Vena, saw the professionals before him, to congratulate them, he smiled, and with the gravity of the vibrating sounds of clouds, he spoke as follows. Now, text 22. Now, this we'll recite. Praturvacha Bosutahe Magada Saumya Vandin Loke Aduna Spashta Gunasya Meshat Kim Ashrayo Me Stavaisha Yojatam Mamai Abhuvan Vitatata Girova Praturvacha Bosutahe Magadas Saumya Bandin Loke Aduna Spashta Gunasya Meshat Kimashayo Me Stavaisha Yojatam Mamai Abhuvan Vitata Girova Praturvacha Bhosutahe Magada Saumya Bandin Loke Aduna Spasta Gunasya Me Syat Kim Ashayo Me Stavaisha Yojatam Mamaya Bhuvan Vitata Girova. Gosuta he magada saumya bandhin. Loke aduna spashta gunasa mesa. Kimashayo me stavayesha yojata. Amaya bhuvan vitatagirova. What word meaning? Prutu uvacha. King Prutu said, Bhosuta, O Suta, He Magada, O Magada, Saumya, gentle, Vandin, O devotee offering prayers, Loke, in this world, Adhuna, just now, Apashta, not distinct, Gunasya, whose qualities, may, of me, Syat, there may be, Kim, why, Ashraya, shelter, may, of me, Stavaha, praise, Esha, this, Yojatam, may be applied. Ma, never, Mai, unto me, Bhuvan, where, Vitatha, in vain, Giraha, words, Va, your. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Prutu said, O gentle Suta, Magadha, and other devotee offering prayers, the qualities of which you have spoken are not distinct in me. Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai. Why then should you praise me for all these qualities when I do not shelter these features? I do not wish for these words meant for me to go in vain, but it is better that they be offered to someone else. Purport. The prayers and praises by the Sutta, Magadha, and Vandi all explain the godly qualities of Maharaj Prithu, for he was a Shaktavesh incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because the qualities were not yet manifest, however, King Prithu very humbly asked why the devotees should praise him with such exalted words. He did not want anyone to offer him prayers or glorify him unless he possessed the real qualities of which they spoke. The offering of prayers was certainly appropriate, for he was an incarnation of Godhead. But he warned that one should not be accepted as an incarnation of the personality of Godhead without having the godly qualities. In the present moment, there are so many so called incarnations of the personality of Godhead, but these are merely fools and rascals whom people accept as incarnations of God, although they have no godly qualities. King Prithu desired that his real characteristics in the future might justify such words of praise. Although there was no fault in the prayers offered, Prithu Maharaj indicated that such prayers should not be offered to an unfit person who pretends to be an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadesha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurasve Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे दीनतारिणम् Hare Krishna. So before I start speaking, I seek the blessings of His Grace Anandmai Prabhu and all the assembled Vaishnavas, so that I can glorify the Lord for my purification of heart. So in this particular section, when King Prithu appeared from the churning of the body of King Vena, so after he appeared, the various demigods, the various living entities, they are offering different gifts for the pleasure of the Lord. So from this we can learn that actually everybody should offer whatever they have in the service of the Lord. Yet karoshi yadasnasi yet juhosi dadasi. So by watering the root of the tree, the leaves, branches, everything gets watered. Yata taror mula nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujobashaka pranopaharaj echendriyanam tataiva sarvanam achyuteja. So we please the Supreme Lord, automatically everybody else will also be pleased. So they very much understood this principle. And when we are offering something to the Lord, we should try to offer the best we have. So once when Srila Prabhupada was there, he was there with His Grace Burijan Prabhu. So that time His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj came and gave him some few $1,000. And Prabhupada said, why so less? And then later Burijan Prabhu offered him few $100. Prabhupada was very happy. So Burijan Prabhu writes that Prabhupada wanted that they should offer according to their capacity. So His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj had great capacity to collect funds or distribute books and offer to Prabhupada. So he wanted him to do more. So Lord doesn't see what we give, but what we don't offer to Him or what we keep behind. Whether we are offering the best we have or we are offering only something little bit. So most of the people, they don't offer the best they have, and they think that in old age we can serve the Lord, right? When everything is gone. So once in Juhu temple, somebody gave one car as donation. So devotees went and opened the door, it fell off. So, in old age, if we are offering our body to Lord, it's like that. So we should try to offer our best to the Lord in the service of the Lord. And here we see that everybody is offering. Means they are not only offering whatever they could, but they are offering what is suitable uh, to the king Prutu, because he is a Kshatriya and king. Accordingly, they are offering whatever it can be used in his service. They are not just giving whatever just like that. What can be used in his service, that's what they are very particularly offering. Like day before yesterday also, Sugopal Prabhu was reading what all were offered to Lord Vamandev when he appeared. So they were not giving all this kingly things, what is meant for Kshatriya. They were giving what is meant for Brahmachari. They were very attentive to details. Sign of love is attention to details. So they were very, very particular about what they were offering to the Lord. So that's what we can learn from these verses. Then here, after this Suta, Magadha and Vandi, they offered prayers and praises to King Prutu. So he congratulated them, he smiled, and then he started telling very gravely. So he is saying that actually these qualities are not there in me, but still you are glorifying me for this. Better you offer this to someone else who actually possesses these qualities. So here we see King Prutu so humbly not taking credit for the glorification, is not eager to be glorified. So he's saying that I have not done anything, and before doing anything only you are starting praising. If I do something, if you glorify, that's a different thing, but I have not done anything, you have started praising, right? So we see the devotees of the Lord, they have this very deep humility. So they carry this deep humility in their heart. So they never want to take credit. So we see Madhavendra Puri, now the Chandan Yatra is going on. So when the Pujari got the dream where Lord Gopinath told him that I kept a pot of kheer. So he was searching, and the moment he found Madhavendra Puri, he immediately offered him respects and started glorifying him, gave that pot of kheer. But then Madhavendra Puri did not stay there. He was very fearful that now news will spread that Lord has kept a pot of kheer for me, and now everybody will praise me. So immediately left that place. He was not at all willing to be glorified for that. So, but still, when he went to Jagannath Puri, still people came to know that Lord has kept kheer for him and he was glorified. But he never wanted that glorification. So we see that this deep humility actually pleases the Lord. We see Rupa and Sanatan when they approached Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So although they were big ministers, having everything, beauty, wealth, scholarship, everything, but still when they approached Lord, they did not went in their minister's clothes. They went with very ordinary clothes, and in the late in the evening, when nobody is there around, and they felt they are very unqualified, so they did not approach Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also directly. First they approached Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, and with their blessings and permission, then they approached Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we know that how they very humbly approached Lord and how they present themselves before Lord. Although they had all knowledge, but still they felt that they are completely fallen. Mhm. So they say how that they are more fallen than Jagai and Madai. So not only they say, but actually they also tell why they are more fallen than Jagai and Madai. So they say that this Jagai and Madai, no, they never worked for any mlechas and yavanas like us, but we are working for mlechas and yavanas. So then they started telling how they are so fallen. Hmm. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeing the deep humility of um, Rupa and Sanatan, actually he blesses them and he gives them initiation. So we see that Sanatan Goswami is glorified for his humility. Hmm. So when he was in Jagannath Puri, so we should understand that Lord Chaitanya himself would sometimes embrace his body, even though his body had all boils and liquid was oozing from his body. Still, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would embrace his body and he would glorify him. Hmm. So, but Sanatan Goswami would always feel that he is very contaminated. So we see the pastime where when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once calls him, so Sanatan Goswami, he had two options. One option to uh, go in front of the temple and to come through the temple side, or to walk from the ocean side, beach. So, but he prefers to come through the sand beach on the banks of the ocean. So, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he approaches Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he says, he asks from which side you came. Then he says that side. So he says, why you came from there? So he says that my body is so contaminated, uh, and if I come from the side of temple, the air may touch my body and it may contaminate the pujaris who are entering the temple. So I don't want to contaminate the pujaris, right? So this is the consciousness of great souls like Sanatan Goswami, right? So they feel that they are so unqualified. Mhm. So although they are the greatest of devotees, Rup Sanatan, Haridas Thakur, they never entered Jagannath temple, right? They never entered because they felt they are Yavanas, Mlechas, were not qualified to enter temple. But the same Lord Jagannath would come in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and give his darshan, right? So sometimes we have to think. So many times we just barge in temple and we don't think anything. But even the greatest of acharyas, they are feeling that they are not qualified to enter temple only. What to speak of seeing the form of the Lord, right? So, because they carried that very deep humility, that's why the Lord is very, very pleased with their attitude. Same way we see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, before writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, he went and sought the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, not only the senior Vaishnavas, but every Vaishnava, he would go and seek their blessings. And that time, it is said that Loknath Goswami and Gopal Bhatt Goswami, they said that please don't include our names in the book you are writing. Hmm. So we can see that Chaitanya Charitamrita will be glorified for so long, and these acharyas, they said that please don't mention our names only. Hmm. So we see that generally in this world, even if people do 0.1% of work in some project or some work, they have a strong longing to be glorified for that. Suppose the project is successful, then they want that their name should also be included while being glorified, right? So these are very dear associates of Lord, and for so many years to come, the book will be read and glorified, but they want to be, completely forgotten. Nobody should ever even, think about them or even speak their names. Right? Very amazing. How deep is their humility. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he also mentions that how he's more fallen than Jagai Madai, and he says, I'm more worse than worms in the stool, and anyone who hears my name loses all pious credits. Anybody who speaks my name becomes sinful. So Prabhupada says that he is not just writing for namesake. Sometimes we just say, oh, I am fallen, I am this, I am that. But actually, we may not mean what we are saying. We just, say like that. Suppose if you ask how you are fallen, yeah, I think I am not so fallen. Or we may not be able to tell also, yeah, how I am fallen, I am not sure. So once His Grace Radhashyam was telling, when we say we are fallen, we should be able to write one book on how we are fallen. We should actually, meditate and feel how we are really fallen. So generally, the tendency of mind is that it always thinks how we are great, how we are very exalted, and how we need to be glorified, and how we are not being glorified. That's what the mind starts thinking about. So if you don't punish the mind, then it will keep on increasing, or false ego will keep increasing. So the remedy is to actually think about how actually we are fallen, and how we don't need any credit. So otherwise it's very dangerous. So when Anantacharya was asked who is a Vaishnava, one of the things he tells is that he should be like a salt. Salt, when the salt gives taste for the preparations. Without salt, there is no taste for any preparation, maybe except sweets, but in general. So, but the salt is not visible; it gets invisible, in the sense mixed, and disappears, in the sense visibly. It's not visible, right? But that is what gives taste for all the preparations. So a Vaishnava is also, he says that he should be like salt. So he should be willing to render all services, all kinds of services for the pleasure of Lord, but he should never be willing to take any credit for oneself, right? So, but it's very, very tough actually. When we do even little bit, we have a strong longing in our heart to be glorified for that. And in case we don't get glorification, we feel sometimes pained also. And on top of it, if suppose somebody else is praised for that, that's like putting petrol in fire, or putting turmeric on wound. It will burn our heart more and more, right? Right. So those are the times when we really are tested, right? So when we have a strong doership mentality, actually we expect respect and credit. But when we understand that the actual doer is Krishna, we are not the doers. The actual doer is Krishna and the mercy of Parampara. Uh, that's what is the reality. So When we forget that, then the strong tendency to be glorified and take credit comes. So whenever we do any service, if we are in the doership mentality, either we become proud or we become frustrated. If we get success, we become proud that I did it. And in case failure comes, we get frustrated because in spite of my doing, why it is not happening. You understand? No? Right? One strongly identifies that he is a doer. But when we don't have the doership mentality, but still we put our best in pleasing the Lord, when success comes, we should give credit to Lord and devotees, and when failure comes, we just accept it still as Lord's mercy, because a devotee sees that if this is what is the will of the Lord, I just accept it. Maybe Lord has some other plan, uh, so we just accept it as Lord's mercy. We don't become angry or upset or frustrated that why Lord didn't make this successful, right? So King Prutu here is teaching all of us that how, first of all, we should not be eager to accept any glorification, right? And that too when we are not done anything, right? Right. Sometimes people just keep glorifying. Prabhu, you're like that, you're like this, right? So if you just accept that, it's very dangerous, because when people glorify, actually we may not means that time we may not see the effect, but later on we see that our false ego, our mind starts, telling our own glorification. Oh, actually you are like this. Actually you are like that. Everybody is recognizing your glories. So our mind starts, chattering. Our mind starts telling all these things, right? Which is very, very dangerous, right? So that's why one should very consciously offer the credit to Krishna and all the devotees. So when success comes, actually a devotee should consciously offer credit to Lord and devotees, and uh, see that how so many other people are involved in this success. It's not because of me. Then we'll be protected from false pride. Otherwise, it can even lead to fall down if you are not careful. So also today is the appearance day of Sita, Mother Sita, and Mother Jahnavi, and the disappearance of Madhu Pandit. We'll talk little bit about them. So we know Mother Sita, she appeared from earth uh, and in Mithila. So in childhood, when she was playing, I think to hit some fruits, she took the Shiv Dhanush and she lifted, and she was very easily able to hit the fruits. Uh, so King, what is his father's name? Janak. He thought that she herself is able to lift this, then her husband should be, at least equal or equally or much more powerful. So he wanted that she should get married to a king who is able to lift that Shiv Dhanush and tie it. So we know that how Lord Ram does it. And eventually later when Lord Ram went to Vanvas, it's not that she also need not go along with Lord Ram. It was only for Lord Ram. But she also prefers to go and serve with Lord Ram. Whatever Lord Ram goes, wherever he goes, I want to go and serve. That was her mood. And eventually we know that how Ravana takes her to Lanka, and there she was very thoroughly tested for her chastity. So much torture by Ravana and demons for so long, I think 10 months or so. And all throughout, she never got deviated. So when her chastity was tested, to enter the fire. So she said, if I ever thought of anybody else other than Lord Ram, let me be burnt by this fire. Just imagine the level of chastity, purity. If we say something like that, and I don't know, at least myself, I'm so unchaste in my mind and words, actions. But she was so chaste to Lord Ram that even in mind she could not deviate for a second. That was her level of chastity. And eventually, when again she went back to Ayodhya, and later she was sent to the forest. That time when Lakshman was in great pain, but then Mother Sita thinks that if this is what Lord Ram wants me to undergo, I just accept it as a service to Lord Ram. She could have started the first woman, what you call, liberation movement, or she would have become very angry, upset, frustrated. Uh, what is this? Already I was tested for my chastity. Still, what is this Lord Ram? What he thinks about himself, right? I'll do this, I will do that. No, she just accepted very gratefully, and she stayed there. So we can see that how much she was surrendered to Lord Ram. So Mother Jahnavi, she is one of the wives of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, along with Vasudha. So after Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the major associates of Lord left, so she was the Acharya for the Parampara, and she was very highly respected by all the devotees of those times. So when the first Gaur Purnima festival went in Keturi Gram, which was arranged by Narottam Das Thakur, so she was brought in a palanquin, and with great respect she was brought, and there she was the main, means under her direction the whole festival was organized. And that time it is mentioned that she was personally cooking and making sure that all the devotees are served properly. And finally, after all the devotees are served nicely, she honored the prasadam. And when Narottam Das Thakur seeked her blessings before starting the kirtan, so she glanced at Narottam Das Thakur and blessed him. So after Narottam got her blessings, then Narottam Das Thakur started singing kirtan. So because Narottam Das Thakur sang with so much love and devotion in great feelings of separation, so Lord Chaitanya and all the associates, they appeared in that Keturi Gram in front of everyone. So also when later on when she was going to Vrindavan, she was attacked by, some dacoits wanted to attack her, and but they were running, but they were always at the same position. So they could never attack. They understood that she is a great lady, and they all surrendered to her. So, and also today is the disappearance of Sri Madhu Pandit. Lord Gopinath, Sri Gopinath actually appeared to receive the service of Madhu Pandit in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So that is the only thing I know about him. So we can pray to all these great souls that we also can surrender our lives as they have done in the service of the Supreme Lord, without any expectations, like Mother Sita, Ashlishava Padaratam Pinashtamam. So whatever Lord has done, whatever Lord does, still she surrendered herself to the Lord's will. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai.